Lamech had a son, Noach. When Adam was cursed for eating the fruit, Hashem also cursed the ground. The ground would not produce so much food, and even when it did, people had to work the ground with their hands. Adam cried to Hashem, Rabbeinu Shalom, Master of the universe, how long will this curse last? This curse on the ground will last till a son is born with bris milah, circumcised. Every time a child was born, the father would see if it was born with bris milah. None of them were, until the birth of Noach. Noach was born already circumcised. Lamech, his father, was overjoyed and straightway called his name Menachem, which means comfort, because the birth of Noach would bring comfort to all men who would no longer have to work the ground so hard. Now Lamech's father, the great Tzadik Mesushelach, was still alive and warned his son Lamech to keep his son's real name a secret and tell everyone his name was Noach. Mesushelach knew that there were wicked wizards who would use magic against Noach and would curse Noach with their magic. But because they did not know Noach's real name, Menachem, their magic did not work on Noach. Noach was very special in many ways. Let me tell you just 5 of them. Number 1. Noach invented the plow, the sickle and spade, and he made the life of farmers much more comfortable. Number 2. Noach fed his parents and grandparents and all his relatives who were still alive during his lifetime. Other people fed their parents, but not their grandparents too. Number 3. Noach was born with bris milah, just like Adam HaRishon, the first man. Number 4. In Noach's time, the ground began to grow the same seeds you planted, without growing thorns and weeds. Hashem had cursed the ground after Adam ate from the tree, and this curse meant the ground would produce thorns and weeds, even when you planted good seeds. After Noach was born, this curse came to an end, and the ground produced the same food as the seed, just as it had done before the curse. Number 5. Noach was the first person in the Torah who Hashem called a Tzadik. Noach was the only man in his entire generation who deserved to be saved from the upcoming flood. Noach's wife was Naamah. She was a Tzaddikus. She was a righteous lady. The word Naamah means very pleasant. Because Naamah acted so nice to people, she was so kind and generous to everyone she met, that everyone would call her pleasant, after her name Naamah. Hashem himself said that Noach had found favor in his eyes, and that means Noach was special, while the rest of the entire generation were doing terrible averas, robbery, lying, stealing, avodah zarah, stealing other people's wives, cheating. The only reason the Mabul had not yet come was because Mesushelach and Lamech were still alive. They were tzaddikim, and they protected the world from being destroyed. But as soon as Lamech and then Mesushelach died, the Mabul came only 7 days later. If Noach was so special, perhaps he was the Tzadik Hashem was looking for. Let's have a closer look at what happened. When Hashem told Noach to build a teva, a huge box, because it's going to bring a Mabul and destroy the world, did Noach beg Hashem not to bring the flood? Did Noach daven to Hashem to change his mind, to save the world? Or did Noach listen and just do what he was told? Noach did what he was told. He spent 120 years on top of the mountain. Everyone knew how brilliant Noach was. He was the great inventor. He had invented the plow and the sickle. He also invented the shovel and other farming tools. How could he be so foolish to build a giant boat on top of a mountain? Boats are built near the sea, where they can easily be moved into the ocean ready to float. Also, boats were made with pointed ends to cut through the water. But Noach's ark was shaped like a box. But that was exactly what Hashem wanted. For 120 years, people told the story of Noach building a teva, an ark, the shape of a box, on top of a mountain. And everyone in the world heard about this and laughed. They just could not believe it was true. So they all went to see for themselves. And this way everybody found out, from Noach himself, about Hashem's plan to destroy the entire world with all mankind and even the animals. Noach, you fool! What are you doing? This is not a place to build a boat. And anyway, don't you know boats are pointed at each end so they can cut through the water easily? What is your boat? The shape of a box! Noach answered in a gentle voice, "You are right. This is not a regular boat. Hashem told me to build a teva, a box. It does not need pointed corners, because it only needs to float on the water during the flood. It does not need to go anywhere." But did the people listen to Noach's answer, or just carry on laughing? They did not listen or do teshuvah. Noach did his job. He built the ark, and he told the people to do teshuvah before it was too late. But Hashem was looking for a tzaddik who would do more than that. The flood came. And Noach was inside the teva for over a year before Hashem commanded him and his family to come out. The moment the door of the teva opened, Noach walked out. But after the first steps, he stood like a statue, fixed to the ground. He could not move his body, and he began to tremble. His eyes saw. His head turned, and he trembled more. He could not believe what he saw. Nothing! Nothing! Nothing was left of the world! No trees! No grass! No plants! No flowers! No birds flying in the sky! Not a single insect on the ground! and no animals roaming anywhere? But that was the least of it all. There was nobody left. Everyone was gone. Not a single person. Only Noah, his wife, 3 sons and their wives, and the pairs of animals who had survived in the teva. No one else. Only dead silence. Noah surely knew this. It could not possibly have been a surprise. So why was he so shocked now, just as he came out of the teva? Of course Noah knew in his mind, but he had not seen with his eyes the total destruction. He had not heard with his ears the total silence of no life whatsoever left on earth. Noah collapsed to the ground in uncontrollable tears. Master of the universe, why did you not have mercy on your creation? Hashem answered Noah, Noah, you royah shaita, you foolish shepherd! Why are you asking me only now? You should have prayed for them when I first told you my plan to destroy the world. Noah was shocked. First, he was so broken that there was nothing left of the world except himself, his family, and the animals. Now he's being told by Hashem that it was his fault because he should have prayed for his generation. Noah answered Hashem, but I did think of praying for them, but it seemed to me they were so wicked, you would not listen to my prayers anyway. You are right, Noah. They were too wicked to have deserved being saved. But you, Noah, you were the biggest Tzadik of the entire generation. And your job is to care so much, even for the wicked, that you should have prayed for them anyway. And you know what, Noah? I would have saved your tefillahs for another time in the future, because no prayer is ever wasted. That is my way of doing things. So, was Noah the Tzadik Hashem was looking for? Perhaps we will find out soon. Who was the Tzadik Hashem waited for?